Good morning, all of you. So, in continuation of the coordinate chapter which we are doing last time, now we will take up some examples to understand how we plot a line over a graph and what equation does it indicates and how we find the slope and intercept of a linear equation line. So, first of all, I would like to tell you that the equation of line is y equal to mx plus c. This is the equation for a linear equation. It's also known as linear equation for a line. What this line indicates, the equation indicates the coefficient of x, which is m here. This indicates the slope of line. Now here I would like to tell you what this slope means. Suppose this is your x and y axis. Whenever we plot some points of a line, after plotting the points, if we join the points, we get a straight line, because this equation indicates the equation of a straight line. Okay. So when this straight line makes an angle with the positive side of x, listen very carefully, when the straight line makes an angle with the positive side of x anti-clockwise, this one, this indicates the slope of line. This is also an angle which is forming with the x-axis, but this is not the slope. The slope comes from the positive side of x in anti-clockwise direction. Okay, so which is our slope? Slope is from the positive side of x, and which is anti-clockwise towards the line. So this angle gives you the value of m. How you get the value of m here? The m is always equal to tan theta. You will learn this tan theta in your trigonometry chapter, but here I will just give you a brief of that. If we get the tangent of this angle theta, then we get the slope of line. You have to learn 3 angles for now, 3 or 4 angles for now. Tan 60 degree and tan 90. You all have to learn some values for these angles for now, and later on when we discuss trigonometry we will elaborate it, and we will have some other angles as well with sine, cos and cot, cosec. So the value of tan 0 degree is always 0. The value of tan 30 is 1 by root 3. Value of tan 45 is 1. Tan 60 is root 3, and tan 90 is infinite. So to finding out our slope of line, which is m, we have to learn the values of tangent of these angles for now. Now if we talk about a line equation of the form y equal to mx, what this equation indicates, that there is no intercept. The c here is known as y-intercept. Okay, what this y-intercept means, this is our origin. When we plot a line and this line cuts y-axis on this point, so the distance from origin to the place of intersection of this line on y-axis, this distance is known as y-intercept. Understood? Distance from the origin till the point of intersection of the line and y-axis is known as intercept. Okay. So where we do not have any intercept value, the line equation becomes y equal to mx. For example, if I write an equation y equal to 2x, this equation doesn't have any intercept value, it doesn't have any y-intercept. So this is of the form y equal to mx. Now how to plot a line of this equation y equal to mx? We have to make a block for the values of y and x. Now here, as I have already told you about dependent and independent variables earlier, this y value is dependent on x. Okay, so whatever value we will give for x, we will get a value for y, right? So we will make a chart like this. We put some values for x and we will get the value of y. So we take some positive value as well as some negative values along with 0. So we start with -2. So if I put -2 in the place of x, what you will get? -2 into -2 +4 y equal to -2 into -2. We are placing the value of x as -2. So minus into minus will become plus and 2 into 2 becomes 4. So we will get a value of y as 4. Now suppose if I take a value of -1, then we will get a value of y as -2 into -1, that is +2. Okay. For x 0, what we will get? -2 into 0, y equal to 0. Okay. Now if I take +1, oh sorry, not -1, it's +1. So we will get y value as -2. Now if I take +2 in the place of x, the value of y will come out to be -4, and so on. Now what these values of x and y indicates? These are the coordinates. These are the coordinates of the points which we are going to plot on a graph. Make y-axis as an axis. This is our origin 0, 0. We mark some points over here, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4 and so on. -1, -2, -3, -4, -1, -2, -3. Okay. Now the first coordinate which we have is -2 and -4. This -2, this is on the negative side of x. Just see where it is. -2 is here, and along with -2 we have y value as 4. Where is 4? Positive 4 is here. So at the intersection point we will get this point as -2 and 4. The second point is -1 and 2. We look for -1 at minus side of x and +2 on the y side, on the positive y. So our point will lie here, -1 and 2. Then we have 0, 0, which is our origin. Then we have +1 and -2. So on the x-axis we will look for +1, and on the negative side of y we will look for -2. So this would be our point 1 and -2. The next point is +2 and -4. This one, +2 and -4. Okay. After plotting our points, if we join these points, I'm not using a scale here, but if you use your scale, you will get a straight line like this. This line's equation would be y equal to minus 2x. Okay, so in this way you have to plot all the equations of line over a graph. In the same way, we have our equation in the form of y equal to mx plus c. You have a y-intercept also. So just try this question, and if you have any doubts in doing this question, it is the same as we had done earlier. You have to put some points for x and you will get some values for y, and you have to plot that line graph. So if anybody has any kind of difficulty in making this kind of equation graph, then you can comment over my channel and I will take up these questions in the next class. So moving towards the next topic. Next type of question which will come in coordinate is finding the slope and intercept of the given equation of line. If a line equation is given to you, this equation of line is in the form of ax plus by plus c equal to 0. Okay, so we have to convert this equation in the form of y equal to mx plus c. So we have to keep the y portion here on the left side and move everything on the other side. Keeping y here, we have to place this b on the right hand side. So because b is in the multiplication of y, it will become the denominator on the other side. Okay, so y would be equal to, when we multiply this portion into the elements of the bracket, then we will get minus a by b into x minus c by b. If you compare this equation with y equal to mx plus c, you will get the coefficient of x as m and intercept value as c. So the coefficient of x for this question would be minus a by b and your intercept would be minus c by b. This would be your answer. So this I had taken for unknown variables. If you get a line equation like this, you have to convert this equation in the form of y equal to mx plus c. Keeping y on the left side, move everything on the right side first. Then leaving y here, you have to move minus 3 on the other side, so it will come on the denominator part of your question. 5 over minus 3. And the next, this minus will cancel out. So 2 by 3x, and this will become plus 5 by 3. And if you compare it with mx plus c, your slope part m will come out to be the coefficient of x, which is 2 by 3. And intercept part is 5 by 3. This would be your answer for the line equation, this, where you are given this line equation and to be asked to find the slope and intercept of the line. In the other way, if you are asked to find the equation of line whose slope and intercepts are given, so we just have to put in the standard format of our line equation the values of slope and intercept. What is the value of m here? Minus 3. And what is the value of y-intercept here? 5. So our equation would become y plus 3x equal to 5, or you can write it like y plus 3x minus 5 equal to 0. Both are correct form. Okay, some more points related to inclination and slope of line. You have to understand, like for x-axis and every line parallel to x-axis. This is our x-axis. If I make a line which is parallel to x-axis, what would be the slope of this line? This line is not intercepting this x-axis anywhere because it's a parallel line. So in that case, your theta will be 0 degree. It's not making any angle with the x-axis. What I have told you earlier, inclination or the slope of line is when the line intersect x-axis, you have to check from the positive side of x anti-clockwise what angle it is forming with the x-axis. That is our slope. or the inclination of the line. But in case of a parallel line, it is not intersecting x-axis anywhere. So the angle which it will form with x-axis is 0. So in that case, your m will become tan 0 degree, and the value of tan 0 degree is always 0. Okay. Now for y-axis and every line parallel to y-axis, suppose I have this line which is parallel to y-axis. Now see, for this line is intersecting x here. So angle anti-clockwise from positive side of x would be 90 degree for this line which is parallel to y-axis. So the slope of such lines are m equal to tan 90 degree, which is infinite. Okay. Now see, for intercept, if a line is overlapping over the x-axis, okay, it is overlapping over the x-axis, then in that case your y-intercept would be 0, because what is intercept? When we draw a line like this, the distance from origin up to the distance where line is intersecting the y-axis is our intercept. But if the line is overlapping the x-axis, it is not making any distance towards the y-axis, nor on the positive side nor on the negative side. So this y-intercept will always be 0 for a line overlapping to the x-axis. Now see, for line parallel to y-axis, what happens? Again the intercept is 0, because it is not cutting y anywhere. So there is no distance from origin towards the intersecting point of y. So here also intercept would be 0. If a line intersect y on the positive side, then it is known as positive intercept of y, or the positive value of intercept. And if it cuts y on the negative side, then we get the negative value of y-intercept. Okay. So this is all in your chapter for class 9. We will have some numericals on this, but before that you have to revise all the chapters thoroughly, and we will come back with some new questions, and you have to practice this chapter questions from your notebooks. Okay. And you find any doubt, you come over to me, you send me questions over the comment box or on my WhatsApp number, and I will come back to you with the solution for this. Thank you so much.